Quinton Parker, born in July of 1956. My job now, well, I'll take that back and kind of advance through the ranks to now, I guess I manage a group of IT professionals.
So tell me just a little bit about yourself. I mean, just your little bit of personal, so everyone gets to know who you are.
Look at me as, like I said, born in the mid-1950s. Started work on a farm and, well, at age 9, whatever that comes out to be, 56 plus 9. Tobacco, worked through, began with mule-driven cart to tractor-driven cart to what they call automation, where you actually ride a harvester. And then as I was leaving in the 80s, they had gone to automatic croppers. So for all that time up through early 60s through late 70s, worked farming. Farming is the way to make you go to school, make you go to college. From then, got a job in IT in Onslow County in Jacksonville. Left there, came to Raleigh, worked at the city of Raleigh for 3 years, moved over, still in IT, to Duke University for 5 years. Changed there in 1990, coming back to global.
So can you tell me about where his shop was and what he did in his shop?
Okay. Step back a little bit further. My dad, and I don't know the years, graduated high school. He actually came to Raleigh and attended the Barber College, which is in East Raleigh. Once he got his degree of certification, he went back to Onslow County and started a barbershop with a friend of his, which was on Belfort Road in Jacksonville. Soon after, I think he got a job where he worked on base, new recruits, where really no decision. You come in, someone was drafted back then, they got drafted. Basically, he gave them that military-style haircut as they were going off to boot camp. And he did that for 37 years, I think. And along those lines, he maintained a barbershop. He was in Jacksonville. They moved to Richlands around, they said right after I was born, so say 1957. He then moved his barbershop, and I guess got in partnership with another guy in Richlands, and kept that up until probably the early 90s. But he, like I said, for 37 years, I don't know the year he started, but I do know because he bragged about being there for that long. And of course, it was on that side of town where black people live, where his barbershop was. But in the military, it was you take any and all as they came in through, when they were headed out to boot camp.
So you said his barbershop off of base was in the black section of town.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Now on base, did he cut everybody's hair? Did he blacks, whites, anybody from different races or cultures? Yeah. Everybody came?
Any new, I don't call them recruits because they were drafted. So any draftee would come through this group. So it was any and all.
Okay. And just to put it in perspective for the students,
uh-huh.
Which war are you talking about they were drafted for? Just are you talking about Vietnam, Korea, or anything in between?
Oh, it would have been the Korean War, right? Was that Korean and then gone through Vietnam?
Okay.
And then, I guess as the wars ended, you still got the guys that had volunteered. They still have to go through his shop where he worked, as the new recruits then, because they still got that same little haircut, shall we say.
All right. So you just said that his experience is a little different, having races intermixing. There was not any discrimination based off skin color in the military, at least in terms of getting their hair cut.
Right. Okay. Very
So,
good. Very good.
What
Yeah.
experiences do you recall hearing about him face, either on base or in his shop outside of base, that were influenced by racial discrimination?
Okay. On base, very little. You had a sergeant that protected them, whether they wanted to or not. But a sergeant was not going to let anybody under his command get unruly. So he was protected there. As you know, well, not as you know, because you're so young. The barbershop back then, it was more of a hangout. It's where they told the stories and just kind of got together. And that was to the day up until when he actually closed his barbershop. They would come by and just kind of, it was a meeting place. They talked tales, I guess they talked truths, but it's where a group of guys got together and, to be honest, they smoked, they drank, and just a way to get away from everything. Now, I said his is a little bit different because of the barbershop on base was all mixed. His side job or his personal shop was a little bit different, but that was only in the afternoon. So he was not there. I mean, he was on base during the day, and then I want to say Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. They would open the shop in the evenings, Wednesday through Friday. Then it'll be all day Saturday until closing time. And that's what, and I guess if you want to look at the black experience, where he got.
Okay. So how long was your father married?
62 years.
And what did your mother do?
Well, if you listen to her, she worked hard all her life, but she was a stay-at-home mom. I think early on, she worked, Weyerhaeuser. You're at the tree company. I don't know if they're in existence today.
I don't think I've heard
Did
of
they do paper?
Huh?
Did they do paper?
Yeah, but she did from the warehouse part of when they bought the logs in.
Okay.
And I don't remember her working. So that's how brief her work was.
Okay.
It was a lot of work. It was a lot of work taking care of your kids.
You had family throughout North Carolina.
Yeah,
right?
large families.
Very large family.
Uh-huh.
All right, so can you talk to the students about the Green Book, and did your family have a Green Book?
No, and like I said, from my perspective, I only knew of it from reading. I know what it is. I know how they used it, but I say third or fourth hand. We didn't have one, and Green Book was a way as blacks traveled in the South to have safe havens, and we did not. My dad was one of 11, all farming. My mom was one of 16. So again, not I won't say not a place for safe haven, but we didn't turn anybody away. Even today, up to this year, because I don't know if you know, my dad passed away in December.
I heard.
Our place during the holidays and during the summers was the kind of the gathering spot. We didn't turn anybody away for any reason. I won't say strangers stayed by, but you get guests, family members come by. So nothing to have them spend a night or two at the house. So it was no big deal.